And without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our next speaker for today. His name is Bryce, and he's one of our FWC LE officers. Hey, Bryce, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm so happy you're able to join us today. I know we have a video we're going to show. I just have to pull it up really quick, and we'll get to it.
Beautiful landscapes, vibrant wildlife, thousands of miles of pristine coastline, and the unmatched grandeur of the Everglades. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, or FWC, has more than 2,000 employees, including over 800 sworn law enforcement officers, who all work together to fulfill FWC's mission.
Sorry, this isn't working. Hang on. Why isn't it letting me do this?
I can hear it.
Yeah, but it's not. Stop sharing. Share. Here it is. I'm having problems with my VLC player. You don't happen to have the video downloaded, do you?
I do.
No. Okay. Let me figure out what I'm doing wrong. We'll cut all this out, by the way. So if I go to share, it's in there. Okay. All right. I'm going to take it from the top. So let me go back. Let me go here. Send myself. Put you in the queue. All right. LE video, take 3. And without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker today. His name is Bryce. He's with FWC's Law Enforcement, and he's here to tell us all about the recruitment process and boating safety. So with that being said, Bryce, how you doing today?
Hi, Kelly. How you doing? I'm doing good.
I'm so grateful to have you here today. I really appreciate your time. I know you have a video, so I'm going to go ahead and cue that up, and then we'll talk about it afterward, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Florida is a place like no other, with beautiful natural landscapes, vibrant wildlife, thousands of miles of pristine coastline, and the unmatched grandeur of the Everglades. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, or FWC, has more than 2,000 employees, including over 800 sworn law enforcement officers, who all work together to fulfill FWC's mission, managing fish and wildlife resources for their long-term well-being and the benefit of people. The FWC Division of Law Enforcement is one of the strongest forces for conservation in the nation. These are highly trained, versatile law enforcement officers with full police powers with state and federal jurisdiction. They are responsible for 3 million acres of freshwater lakes, 11,000 miles of rivers, streams, and creeks, 8,400 miles of coastline, and nearly 13,000 square miles of ocean. FWC officers watch over more than 34 million acres of land, including wildlife management areas, state parks, forests, and private lands. They also provide law enforcement services in rural, wilderness, and offshore areas where no other law enforcement agencies routinely patrol. It's this unique blend of resource conservation and law enforcement that makes the FWC the right career choice. This specialized job requires a drive to succeed, an independent spirit, and a love for the outdoors.
Thanks, officer.
At the FWC Training Academy, new recruits receive 21 weeks of intensive instruction from the state of Florida's law enforcement curriculum. They eat, sleep, work out, and study on site, learning from staff and mentors while bonding with fellow recruits and trainers. After receiving general law enforcement certification, FWC recruits go through another 7 weeks of rigorous training unique to conservation law enforcement in specialized areas such as man tracking and water safety and survival. They learn identification for Florida's many species of fish and wildlife, such as turtles, snakes, birds, exotic wildlife, even alligators. After graduation, newly sworn officers are assigned anywhere in the state from Pensacola to the Keys, and in time, FWC officers can pursue unique opportunities for specialized law enforcement positions within the agency. The Special Operations Group is a unit of officers that trains to be ready in case of natural or man-made disasters or other dangerous situations that require more specialized actions and equipment. Or they may be called to an urban search and rescue mission after a hurricane. FWC's dive teams are strategically positioned throughout the state and increase the division's investigative and search and rescue capabilities. The aviation section operates a variety of helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. These positions are anything but routine, involving law enforcement work in isolated areas and wilderness search and rescue. FWC canine officers are recognized as some of the best in the country. Highly trained and motivated, these animals work with their handlers as an efficient team. FWC canines are specifically trained to search for different kinds of game, from deer to lobster, and they receive high-level training in man tracking. The division operates a variety of offshore patrol vessels, which concentrate on the large offshore fisheries around Florida. FWC investigators are responsible for short and long-term investigations relating to the illegal commercialization of fish and wildlife, hunting incidents, and boating fatalities. Captive wildlife investigators are responsible for regulating Florida's multi-million-dollar wildlife trade. They watch our ports and airports and inspect wildlife importers, captive wildlife facilities, and rehabilitation centers.
Looks like a cobra.
FWC officers are prime examples of law enforcement multitasking. A single day can involve helping a young angler hook her first fish, searching for a missing hiker, releasing a rehabilitated manatee, and arresting someone for boating under the influence. Conservation law enforcement requires the ability to work independently but still be part of a team. A career with the FWC is exciting, demanding, and uniquely rewarding.
Bryce, what can you tell me? How long have you been an officer?
I've been an officer with FWC for 10 years, but I started volunteering before that. So probably total about 12 and a half years, 13.
Okay. And I guess a follow-up, like, you know, why did you choose this career?
I was already in law enforcement, and I went back to get my degree, and while I was doing that, I started volunteering with FWC as a reserve officer, and it was so much fun. I just loved it, everything about the job, and when I graduated, I put my application in and became a full-time officer.
That's amazing. So finally, I guess on that, like, what do you think are some like good skills or qualities for somebody who wants to be an officer? Like, what would you think would be some of those top ones?
Top skills definitely could be your communication skills, being able to listen to people and also talk to people, because you're going to be dealing with the individuals on a daily basis.
Great. And I know because we work together quite a bit that boating safety is a top priority for you guys. So I know that you're here. You can tell us a little bit about boating safety and do some education. So what do you got for us today?
All right, so we're going to go through some of the safety gear. The first and the most important thing that you have on your boat is going to be your life jacket. So you want to make sure that you wear a life jacket at all times. With the life jackets, they have labels on the back, and they go over the specification requirements for the person that's supposed to be wearing this. So in this one right here, it says it's for an adult life jacket. It's an adult life jacket. It gives a chest size and also a weight size, so you make sure you have the right life jacket for the right person. Also on these labels, they also have information about what they're intended to use for. Not all life jackets are intended for jet skis, not all life jackets, so they have different purposes. So you want to make sure you read that label in the back and make sure you have the right life jacket for what you're going to be using. Another example of a life jacket, here's a smaller one. This one's for an infant. Has a little straps and buckles that go around the child. So what we hear sometimes is like life jackets, they're not comfortable, but there's also other types of life jackets out there. This is a style that we wear. They're inflatable. So it's very low profile. It's another option that you could wear, because the most important thing, again, is to wear a life jacket. Some of the other types of safety equipment that you have is your fire extinguishers. You want to make sure that they're fully charged. A whistle or a horn, some kind of sound producing device, and also a Type 4 throwable. So if somebody falls over the boat, you have something to throw them. Here's an example. It's like a life ring. Again, it has that label on the back of it. It says what it's intended for. So it could be a round ring like that, or it could be one of the square cushions. But again, it has to say U.S. Coast Guard approved Type 4 throwable.
Great. So let me see. I have some other questions. So when you're going tubing, do you have to wear a life jacket, or is that optional?
Yes, you have to wear a life jacket while tubing, skiing, any type of water activity. Even on jet skis, you want to make sure you have them. Got an example of that life jacket right here.
Okay.
So it'll be a life jacket like this. It's got 3 buckles on the front, so it's very, very secure while you're doing those water activities.
Okay. So another question we had, it kind of relates to, well, it seems like you're joining us from your office this morning, your truck. And I know in the video we saw a lot of officers have different vehicles, but can you tell me more about the different types of vehicles in FWC, law enforcement?
Yeah, the vehicles that you get depends on what your position is. I'm over here in Hillsborough County, so we're more of a coastal position. So you'll have like a pickup truck, and you be in a coastal position, you'll have a boat, and it could be a large boat, it could be a smaller boat. We have airboats, so it depends on where you're at. Also, like if you're more of an inland position, we have swamp buggies, ATVs, airboats.
Wow.
So it just depends on where you're at.
Very cool. So I know that you and I both are in the same region. You cover, you're in the Honeymoon Island area sometimes?
Yes. Yep.
So tell me what a day in your life is out there. Like, what are you doing? Or
out there, we're definitely want to make sure that people are having fun out there, but also abiding by the park rules. Each park has a set of rules, so we're out there making sure people aren't speeding in the parking lots. We have radar, so we can do speed traffic enforcement. Making sure that people being Honeymoon Island, there's a lot of nesting seabirds out there, so we want to make sure that people, they have their dogs on a leash, they're keeping them out of these areas, and people aren't going in these seabird nesting zones. Make sure that people, that when they're out there, that they're, again, following by the park rules. Some of them are consumption of alcohol. You can't be drinking alcohol in the park unless it's in a designated area. So we just want to make sure that everyone's out there having a fun and safe time doing that.
absolutely. I know they have a lot of wildlife out there. Have you ever seen anything other than obviously fish, because people are out there fishing, but what other kind of wildlife do they have out in Honeymoon?
They got a lot of wildlife. They have a couple of them are gopher tortoises. You have gopher tortoises out there, rattlesnakes, a lot of raccoons. bunch of different types of birds. Honeymoon, they have bald eagles that go out there. So
Wow. Definitely, it's such a cool job, and we're very thankful for our officers. So that pretty much wraps up all of my questions for today, Bryce. So I just want to again thank you for taking your time out to join us and helping to educate everybody on the roles of FWC law enforcement, and then part of your day-to-day responsibilities. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me today. And everyone else, if you want to see any more of our videos, please visit us at myfwc.com/MarineQuest. Thanks and have a great day.